Hi, everybody. Joe Chaffee here. Weather in 5 days and 5 minutes. And we are watching the beginnings of a developing major storm. And you can see it here in the Gulf of Mexico. A lot of moisture has gathered. The surface low is developing. We also have this strong upper trough in the northern part of the jet stream that is swinging eastward. And with that, we've got rain and showers all the way up into the Great Lakes. It's amazing how there's no cold air anywhere in the eastern part of the United States, but with a storm like this, it's probably a good thing. And this storm is going to intensify as that upper trough to the north gets involved, straddle the Carolina coastline, and then run up just along the New Jersey coast and then straight northward into upstate New York between now and Monday afternoon. So it's going to be busy. In the meantime, the weather in the Northeast and northern and mid-Atlantic states, nice today. We've got some high clouds that are coming in, but it's really going to be during the day tomorrow that those clouds will thicken up and we'll start to see that rain spreading northward up the coast. Check out the radar. And we talked about the system from last week, which had this very linear look to it. And this, on the other hand, has a much different look on the radar presentation. You can see that well-defined circulation with an upper low in northern Missouri. And then you can also see the curvature beginning with the storm system in the Gulf of Mexico that is riding ahead of this, and heavy rains gathering across Florida and will gradually spread into Georgia and South Carolina as we move through the rest of the day and into tonight. But the northeast radars are quiet. The western half of the United States is very, very quiet. Storm Prediction Center today, a slight risk of severe weather for much of the Florida Peninsula, not on the Panhandle though. And this is going to come with some tornado risk, 2 to 5% tornado risk today in the state of Florida. That's the only thing we have to worry about from the standpoint of severe weather is with this storm in the eastern part of the United States, clearly. And then tomorrow, Sunday into Monday morning, we're going to see a marginal risk up to southeastern Virginia, slight risk in parts of coastal South and North Carolina. That also is going to come with a 2% tornado risk. And also in South Florida, we're going to see a 2% tornado risk in the marginal risk. And I think the general thunderstorm risk might get pushed up from southern New Jersey on up into southern New York into southern New England. There could be a little bit of convection there as this system moves along to the northeast. Didn't turn my phone notification off. That's what that's why you heard the call of the post there. And as we check out the possibilities of flash flooding in Florida and southeast Georgia, marginal risk today into tomorrow morning, extending up into South Carolina. This is actually, this is valid from now right into Sunday morning. And then as we look for the Sunday morning into Monday morning period, we have a marginal to slight risk up and down the eastern seaboard from South Carolina northward into the Hudson Valley to New York City. And then as we move on to day 3, which is Monday, we'll see that marginal and slight risk up in New England. Now, as far as rainfall is concerned, total rainfall, WPC is going for 2.5 inches plus in these reddish areas in Maine, western Massachusetts and Connecticut, southern, the lower Hudson and middle Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey to about New York City, eastern Pennsylvania, down into Maryland and Virginia, eastern Maryland and Virginia, and then continuing south from North Carolina down into Florida. Also, by the way, want to point out with the weather system off the coast of California that they're forecasting heavy rains of several inches or more, with probably some heavy mountain snows in the Sierra Nevadas in California, up and down the entire coast of that particular state. So we've got the new GFS in. That will take us through this whole storm system. And as you see on the map for this afternoon, it's all rain, all green. The northern feature becomes less important. The southern feature becomes the primary focus here with that low off the Florida coast early Sunday morning, jumps to the other side, starts to intensify near Savannah. The gradient begins to tighten with winds probably gusting to gale force or higher along the Carolina coastline and also for the Georgia coastline. And then by tomorrow afternoon, we'll start an evening, we'll see the range spreading up further north. And you see the heavy rains in the dark reds here. The radar presentation here would indicate a squall line of thunderstorms there in eastern North Carolina and in eastern Virginia. The heavy rains for eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England. The worst of it will be overnight, Sunday night, into Monday morning. The coastal winds will be gusting to 50 miles an hour or more. Probably the peak winds will be, I'll say, between 10 p.m. Sunday and 8 a.m. Monday for New Jersey and Long Island. And then the low continues to move northward, still raining in a fairly large area in the coastal mid-Atlantic and up into the northeast Monday morning, and some leftover rain starting to finally pull out during Monday afternoon as the low runs straight northward up into northwestern Vermont and then eventually on up into Canada. We're going to see a changeover to snow on the backside over the Great Lakes, and that'll occur Sunday night into Monday and also in parts of western New York down through the central Appalachians. A little bit of lake effect going on there in southwestern and north central New York come Monday night into Tuesday, and that'll probably continue into Tuesday morning before relaxing. And as far as the overall general weather is concerned, once we're done with this major storm, we are going to see improvement probably lasting through much of the rest of next week. And just want to very quickly go through, let me just get the right website up and just go very quickly through the watches and warnings. Can't seem to do it. This is one of those days, folks. I'm in a bit of what I would call tech hell today. Everything that you fix one thing and it break and something else breaks. There we go, finally. So we do have various advisories that are up and also flood watches. There's not a lot of them up at the moment, but we are seeing flood watches in eastern Pennsylvania and much of New Jersey except the northeast. Wind advisories from the Delmarva Peninsula on up northward through through coastal New Jersey to about New York City. We've got high wind watches that are up for Long Island and southeastern New England, as well as for parts of coastal Maine. And I think these might be also wind advisories that are up here. I'm checking here into South Carolina. We do have gales along the coast, but I don't see wind advisories here. Just seeing what they have lake wind advisories up in those brownish areas that you see in parts of South Carolina and also in, I believe that would be the same for northern Florida. But let me just double check here. This is, these are wind advisories that we have up. Wind advisories up for southeastern Georgia and for northern Florida. So no doubt this is a very strong storm. It's going to be stronger than what we saw with the system from last week as the low intensifies and moves up the coast. We're going to have storm coverage live tomorrow night on the Joe and Joe Weather Show, and that will be at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's tomorrow night at 7:35, Sunday night. Have a good weekend.